Hello everyone, and welcome to the first video version of QuickTime Reviews on We The Nerds YouTube channel. I am Andrew Semenchek, and you might be sitting here asking, what's a QuickTime Review? Well, what the QuickTime Review is basically a review of the games that we're playing now, or comic books, or movies, etc. Now, if it's a video game or something along those lines that we haven't necessarily finished, it's going to be a score of the game that we're playing right now. So it's not a final score, it's not a usual review that you're going to see on the site or on the channel or something like that. It's just a quick review score based out of 100 that to the length that we're playing. So what I'm going to cover today is I'm going to cover 4 things. I'm going to cover 3 video games and 1 movie review. We're going to go with the movie review first, and that is SpiderMan Homecoming. My friends that have my Facebook know that I posted a video going into it right after I got done watching the movie, and I absolutely love the movie. Sitting on the movie for a couple days, kind of letting it gestate and thinking about it more, I absolutely love it. That movie was about as a perfect rendition of the Spider-Man franchise that we've had on film. Zendaya playing Michelle Jones was great. The woman playing Lizelle, and I forget her name, I apologize, was great. Michael Keaton was phenomenal as Adrian Toomes, also known as the Vulture. Tom Holland, what can you say? I mean, he is Peter Parker. As much as Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man, Tom Holland is Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire was able to hit the nail on the head for an extent. Andrew Garfield, same thing, but Tom Holland is the complete package. And I cannot wait to see more of him. Unfortunately, we're not going to get another Spider-Man movie for 2 years, but we're going to have him in Infinity War next year. And I hope we see some kind of shorts, maybe like an Aunt May short, because Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, she was not in the movie as much as I was expecting, but she was still phenomenal. If you are any kind of Spider-Man fan whatsoever, go see this movie. Highly, highly recommended. I'm going to give the movie a score of 95 out of 100. Mainly for some small little pacing issues that happen with the movie overall, but otherwise it's highly, highly recommended. And as a Spider-Man fan myself, a huge Spider-Man fan, definitely go see this movie. Now moving on to my video game reviews, I'm going to be doing first Friday the 13th. Now, some of you know that I wasn't necessarily fond of Friday the 13th when it came out. I picked it up within the last 2 weeks, and I've been giving it a lot of playtime. Had a couple friends that have been playing with it as well. Needless to say, it doesn't have the bugs that it had at launch, but it still has a lot of glitches. And I know that they are working on it. They're working on a single-player mode as well, which is great. Don't get me wrong. And the game is still fun. It is a lot of fun. It does have its terrifying moments to an extent in terms of Jason kind of popping out and surprising you, and just that terror of where is he going to come up next. But it still kind of sucks. You're paying $40 for a game that's not necessarily complete. Excuse me. So, I'm going to give the game a 75 out of 100 as of right now. That's with I'd say about 6 to 7 hours playtime. Because like I said, glitches and just the fact that there's only 3 maps, there's nothing really else to play with it right now. Not a lot of character customization, so it's kind of a little bit just lacking as of right now, especially for a $40 game. $20, $30, be a little more respectable and a little more reasonable. But again, my opinion. Moving on to another online horror game is Dead by Daylight. Now, this game is at $30, and it's strictly online only. There is no single player whatsoever, unlike what they promised in Friday the 13th for a future patch or an update. But what we do get is a more fleshed out experience. The ability to customize not only your survivors, you also have multiple killers as well with DLC packs to add extra ones. You get, I believe, if I recall correctly, 4 at the deluxe packages on PS4, and more to come. You can purchase Michael Myers, and I believe I still have some more on there as well. Again, with Dead by Daylight, it's a little bit more of a tougher game. The killers have a little bit more of an advantage as compared to Friday the 13th. It might also be because for Friday the 13th, it's technically a 7v1, where Dead by Daylight is a 4v1. But it also does seem that the killers are definitely a little more overpowered in Dead by Daylight than they are in, say, Friday the 13th. Still fun, completely stressful game in terms of just the trying to survive, or if you're a killer, just trying to hunt your prey and get that visceral feeling. But and having that first person mode with Dead by Daylight as the killer is a little bit cooler. It's a little bit more horror movie-esque in that sense, and it's enjoyable. If you're looking for either version of a game, like a horror online game, you're looking to go wrong with either of them. I know I was knocking Friday the 13th a little bit more than Dead by Daylight, but they each have their issues. They each have their strengths. So I'm going to give Dead by Daylight currently an 80 out of 100 for that. So, and as I'm going to keep playing these games, I'll give you more of my reviews as well. To finish it out, at least for today's one, is Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age for PS4. Now, this is a remaster of sorts for Final Fantasy XII that originally released on the PlayStation 2 back in 2006, right around when the PS3 and the Nintendo Wii had launched. I did put a little bit of time in this one and originally come out on the PS2, but it was during that time where I never played my PS2 as much, and it was also during that time where, HD graphics was a thing because it was the Xbox 360, we had just gotten Gears of War and all that, so I never put as much time into this game back then as I did with Final Fantasy X or some of the other previous Final Fantasies. So coming back to it now with a remaster it's quite charming. The combat system's not quite like anything else that's on the market right now. It's kind of the MMO feel with the Gambit system, and it feels nice. It feels like, and you might see some other critics saying that it's a good time for it to come out. It's maybe not the best year for it to come out, just because of with Persona 5 and Horizon and Zelda coming out. It's hard to kind of have time for everything, but it's definitely its unique RPG on its own, and especially considering a lot of the Square RPGs are very Japan oriented or Asian culture oriented. It's kind of refreshing to have a Final Fantasy that's a little bit more European in that sense, almost a little more like a Game of Thrones or like King Arthur in a sense, so kind of that weird little vibe, where there's a little more tone to it. So, haven't gotten too far into it, about, an hour and a half, 2 hours in. Graphics look great for a remaster in terms, they're not doing like with Final Fantasy VII, they're not fully upscaling everything. They're just kind of putting some polish in here and there, but it looks great. There's still the, PS2 like graphics and dubbing issues where you can't see their mouth not moving properly. But for me, it's a really good time. It's a great time sink. It kind of harkens back to that PS2 era of RPGs that we're kind of having a renaissance of, but it's a great reminder of what we might have missed for a Final Fantasy title that really came out in the PlayStation's 2's, end of their life cycle. Right now, I'm going to give their game an 85 out of 100. As I continue to get into it, I'm going to definitely cover that a little bit more. But I'm definitely liking it. It's a fun game, and for $50, it's worth it if you want to have a huge time sink, because, as always, Final Fantasies are always a huge time sink. And if you kind of want something that is different than what you expect, like especially if Final Fantasy 15 didn't work for you as much, definitely would give this a try. If you're a fan of just those old remasters, definitely give it a try. But that's going to cover it for this QuickTime review. So what do you guys think? Do you like this? Do you want me to keep doing this? Leave a comment below, subscribe to We the Nerdy on YouTube, and see you soon. Catch you later.